Have you ever wondered if your brain is secretly fooling you every single day? What if some of your biggest decisions aren't really as logical as you think? Your brain uses clever shortcuts to make life easier, but sometimes those same shortcuts quietly trick you without you even noticing. Today, we're uncovering 5 psychological tricks your brain falls for every day. And once you know them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Let's move on to our first psychological trick, the anchoring effect. Imagine you see a jacket marked $200, but it's on sale for $100. It suddenly feels like an incredible deal. But if you had only seen the $100 price, would it still seem that cheap? That's the anchoring effect. Your brain gives extra importance to the very first number or piece of information it sees. That first impression becomes a reference point, and everything else is judged against it. This is why shopping discounts, salary negotiations, and even restaurant menus can influence your decisions more than you realize. The surprising part? The very first number you see can secretly decide what feels cheap or expensive. Let's move on to the next psychological trick, the spotlight effect. Have you ever made a small mistake and felt like everyone noticed? Or worn a new outfit and thought all eyes were on you? That's the spotlight effect. Your brain makes you believe you're the center of everyone's attention. But in reality, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to notice the little things you worry about. Whether it's an embarrassing moment, speaking in public, or trying a new look, people usually pay far less attention than you imagine. The surprising truth? Most people probably didn't even notice what you're worried about. Let's move on to the next psychological trick, the framing effect. What if the same fact could make you feel completely different just because of the way it's presented? For example, would you rather choose something with a 90% success rate or a 10% failure rate? They're exactly the same, but most people feel more confident with the first option. The same happens with food labels, like 95% fat-free, which sounds much more appealing than 5% fat. Your brain often reacts to the wording before it thinks about the actual facts. The surprising part? Sometimes it's not the information that changes your decision. It's simply the way it's presented. Let's move on to the next psychological trick, choice overload. You might think having more choices is always better, but your brain doesn't always agree. Think about scrolling through a streaming platform, shopping online, or staring at a huge restaurant menu. Instead of making the decision easier, too many options can leave you feeling confused or even frustrated. This happens because every choice uses a little bit of your mental energy, leading to what's called decision fatigue. The surprising truth? More choices don't always mean more happiness. Sometimes they just make choosing much harder. Let's move on to the final psychological trick, the mere exposure effect. Have you ever disliked a song at first, but after hearing it a few times, you started to enjoy it? That's the mere exposure effect. The more often your brain sees or hears something, the more familiar and trustworthy it begins to feel. That's why brands you see repeatedly, familiar faces, and even certain products can slowly become more appealing over time. This is exactly why advertisers and social media keep showing you the same things again and again. The surprising part? Sometimes you don't like something because it's better. You like it because you've seen it more often. As you've seen, your brain isn't trying to fool you. It simply uses shortcuts to save time and energy. Most of the time, they help, but sometimes they quietly influence your choices without you even realizing it. The next time you're shopping, making a decision, or overthinking what others think of you, take a moment and ask yourself, is this really my decision, or is my brain playing one of its hidden tricks? So, which psychological trick surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy discovering the fascinating science behind the human mind, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.